A very warm welcome back to Stone Valley for episode number 7 with me, MrSealyp. I've just refilled the trailer with seed while we're just getting ready to start harvesting on our own field 17. I'm picking up a sowing contract in field 18. The new trailer that I bought has been brought down. I've also purchased a bale trailer. It's also been parked up, and I've also purchased another front tank, the Vegstat FH2200. So what I'm going to do now is take this front tank out and give it to the seeding rig and refill everything they need out here. So what I might have to do is get in the way, I think. Stop there. Thank you very much. So what we'll do is drop that there, like so. Swing round to the back here. Okay, as soon as that opens I know I'm close enough. Great. We will, it says, refill from the trailer in the back. Job done, close the cover. And I'll hook up to that on the front. And we're good to go. Right. Beacon's off. And away he goes again. Happy days. Now let's go back to the farm. Well, actually, it depends how much seed I've got. What have we got left in it? Oh yeah, we've got plenty left in it. I might leave it out here just in case he runs low again. So we'll just pull this up here. We're good to go. So once this is finished, there'll be fertilizing jobs will appear on this. It's like I said before, there's loads of sowing contracts popping up now. Once the fields have been sown, then you get the fertilizing contracts pop up, and then the subsequent knock-on of that will be all these harvest jobs will appear later on. So once we've harvested our own field, made our own money, we can pick up other harvesting contracts, and like we did in previous episodes, we can make an absolute bomb. So that's the plan. But once this is done, we're going to crack on with our own, get our own soybeans sorted out. I don't know what that's actually going for at the moment. What is soybeans selling for? Oh, not great. 1334 at North Sell Point. Wow, is that it? 1172 and drop in 1156. Wow. I mean, you look at sunflower next to it. Everything. I mean, even canola at South Sell Point is 1456. Why is soybean so low? That's normally one of the top earners. Sunflower at South Sell Point is 1,400. Yeah, we might have to store it. We've got a lot of storage, haven't we? We'll have a think. We'll see what happens. I am going to grab the smaller pup trailer to start off with. Harvest has started on our field. Sean is down on field 2. Contracting's going to continue. Whatever happens, contracting's going to continue. It'd be churlish not to. Like I said before, once our fields are up and running, once we bought more property, once we're so kind of snowed under in a good way with our own stuff, contracting work will probably dry up because I just won't have the time to be able to do it. But while we can, and while we can make money doing it, that's what we're going to do. Now, it wasn't a question. The idea of getting a loan was posited. That to make it more realistic and do what farmers actually do, I should take a loan out rather than doing all the contracting. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the argument that's what real farmers do. Like I said, I think I started this when I was on Greenwich Valley. I know loads of farmers that I watch online, and you know, and a couple of farmers that I actually know in real life. One farmer I know in real life is a contractor. That's what he does. He's a contract farmer, and he just goes around and he does contract work. He's got a bit of machinery, and that's what he does. So the idea that doing contract work is somehow not farming, you know, but again, I get it. Yeah, most farmers have got loans. You know, they've got, you know, either machinery that they're buying on, kind of like, I think in the UK we call it, well, we used to call it hire purchase. I don't know what it's called now, but interest-free credit, or whether it's not interest-free, but on a credit system, and you pay a little bit off each month and that kind of thing till you either own it or you upgrade or do whatever. Same as you do with cars, I guess, but it's a bit more expensive with farming machinery. So yeah, I could have gone down that route. I think the thing with this one was as well, because I came straight off the back of doing Greenwich Valley, where my sole purpose on Greenwich Valley was to get them out of debt. I think in my head the whole thought of taking out a loan kind of went against. I managed to get them out of debt, then I come here and get myself into debt. It would seem a bit kind of, is it oxymoronical, I think is the, but anyway, so you know, I just wanted to address that. You know, it was kind of mentioned, and I thought, at the end of the day, it's a valid point. Yeah, I mean, why haven't I got a loan? And I don't often do it. I have done it on some Let's Plays. The thing is, on a map like this, in an area like this, where contracting work is available, and especially on big fields, yes, they take a long time. Like I said, you know, the other day, 8 hours of contracting I did to make the money. So 8 hours of work put in, but what you got to remember is that's not real life time, that's game time. I mean, that doesn't make sense, does it? It is real life time. It was 8 hours of real life time. What I mean is, within the gaming world, you think about what you can achieve in 8 hours. On a real farm, to harvest a field like this might take you an entire day. It might take you a couple of days. It depends how many harvesters you got, how many people you've got running it, or, you know, depends on the size of your machinery. So when I've done, I don't know, 15 contracts on massive fields in 8 hours, in the real world that would be weeks of work. So when you look at it like that, I suppose seasons is the best way to kind of look at it. If you had seasons on and you're doing jobs like that, you might run through months of work. So that's what you've got to try and remember in your head, is a microcosm of the real world. Playing this game, whilst I am playing in real time, what you can actually achieve and get done in that real time, you know, it kind of, it's offset a little bit. Anyway, I'm doing what I usually do, I'm waffling away. We need to get the other harvester. I'm going to get the other harvester. Do I want to run alongside this one, or am I going to get it set across the other side of the field? Maybe across the other side. Mind you, then I'm going. Yeah, I might get it running alongside this one if I can, and do it in kind of strips. Otherwise, when I'm unloading, I've got to unload one this side of the farm or field and one the other side. That seems a bit daft. So we'll grab the case. We'll get that running too. Now, as far as a wheel loader goes, or telehandler, I'm going to go for a wheel loader. I've been looking on the internet, I've been scouring the internet looking for a wheel loader, and I can buy new wheel loaders, and there's a few knocking around locally. I can get one from the main case dealer. There are John Deere dealerships not far away, but they don't seem to have any at the moment. But what I have found, not far from here, I've got to go and collect it. So I'm going to get the lorry and a low loader, and what we'll do is we'll go and collect it. Oh, was the header down the whole time? Just drove all the way around there with the header down. Is Liebherr US. They're dotted all over the US, Liebherr. They work in aerospace and cranes and you name it. But they do have Liebherr US, LUS, their mining division in Wyoming. So not far from here, and I say not far from here, you know, a little way from here, there's a company that's got a Liebherr wheel loader that's been used as an excavator, like a dumper, sort of, you know, with a bucket and stuff, which they've got for sale. So what I might do is go with the low loader, go and collect that. Now it's not as high powered as some of the other wheel loaders that are available, but it's a little bit cheaper. But at the end of the day, we're going to give it a shot. We'll go and grab it, we'll bring it back. It's got a bucket on it, but we'll get the bale grab thing. Now the other thing as well is all my bales that were on the field 8, my silage wrap bales. Now obviously using that bale grab that I like to use now, that would pierce the wrap. In the real world, yes of course it would, and you wouldn't use that for picking up wrapped bales. Only when you're getting ready to then maybe put them into a machine or whatever, and you go and take the wrap off. Doesn't matter if you pierce it, but yeah, obviously when you're loading up onto a trailer and stuff to transport them wherever you're going to take them, you wouldn't pierce the wrap because you want them to ferment. You don't want any moisture getting in, you know, all that kind of thing. You want all the good stuff staying in there and all the bad stuff staying out. But you know, in the spirit of me doing, you know, just loading up stuff. And what you can do, and I mentioned this before, I bought some tape when I was building the man cave, and I put like damp-proof membrane on the top of the man cave as a kind of waterproof barrier, and with that you can get tape. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, and the tape is, I mean, it's the stickiest stuff I've ever come across. It's unbelievable for doing joints and stuff in damp-proof membranes and things like that. But it says on the actual packet of the wrap it can be used for silage bales. So if you get a rip in a silage bale, or you've poked holes in it with spikes to move them, when you take the spikes out, you just get this tape and you put a couple of dabs of tape over the holes, job done. It's as if it was the original wrap back on there. I think we're going to go that way. That way we'll do this strip, then we'll move over and do the next strip, and we'll have both harvests. Now at some point they're going to come close together. When they come close together, I'll move one of them over to start on the next strip, and I'll work my way across the field that way. Now I am also, obviously I've mentioned this before, we are looking at getting another harvester. Not another harvester, but one to replace both of these. These were both interim, and I got the class for, was it 97 grand I think it was. Now that's got a 10,500 litre tank? Something like that. I just unloaded, wouldn't I? You'd think I would know that. I didn't even pay any attention, I just unloaded it, I was too busy chatting. That's got a nice sized tank, but the header's quite small. So realistically, maybe just a bigger header on that. Because the harvester I was looking at was also about a 10,000 litre, but it came with like a 9 metre header. And I think both of these headers combined, oh there you go, contract and field 2 finished. Both of these combined come at about 11 metres. So I thought I could replace both of these with one harvester, but then thinking about that, maybe just getting a bigger header for the class, and I could keep both of these, then in essence I would be running a bigger harvester. I mean at some point I do want to get a bigger harvester, like one with a, you know, 16, 14, 16, 18,000 litre capacity if we can. That's the plan. I have heard tell of a John Deere knocking around with like a 22,000 litre one. Out in these parts there's one knocking about somewhere. So I don't, we'll keep our eyes open. I'm not adverse to getting some Deere, although they are quite dear. And obviously, you know about John Deere's on, not in, I'm not going to start one of these kind of, everyone going about, John Diarrhea, okay, whatever. I'm not, I'm not a farmer, I don't engage. All I say is, other manufacturers are available. I haven't run John Deere's myself. The few people I know that have, love them. It's one of those weird things, isn't it? I don't know. If it's just because it's such a big global brand and we're a target and people don't like them. I know lots of people that have commented previously when I've mentioned things like this have either said they love them and their family have always had them and they're brilliant, or people have said we had one, it was the worst thing we ever did, we got rid of it. They always break down, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got other people say, we owned so-and-so and so-and-so, it was awful, all it ever did was break down. It's, I guess, a love it and hate it thing. I was the same with my Land Rovers. I've mentioned this before as well. I loved my Land Rovers. Every single Land Rover I owned, I absolutely adored until they broke down. And unfortunately with Land Rovers, they always had, I don't know about now, I haven't got a new one. I'd love to have a new Land Rover, that'd be amazing. One of the new Defenders. Anyway, yeah, and when they broke down, they were a nightmare. When they started going wrong, you started having problems with them. Oh, blimey. It was just awful, But the problem was, it was like having a pet. It's like having a puppy or something, you know. I just didn't want to get rid of it. I loved them. Every single one I had, I loved them to bits. I loved the driving position. I loved how comfortable they were. I loved, you know, obviously not the Defenders. I had Discoveries. Defenders aren't as, the older ones aren't as comfortable. I loved them to bits. And when each one of them eventually kind of finally gave up the ghost and I had to get rid of them, I was heartbroken getting rid of my Land Rovers. Other cars I've owned, didn't care. Wasn't bothered. Car broke down, went from its MOT, turned out, you know, whatever it might be. I've never owned brand new cars, but, you know, it was that case of, you know, the MOT work was going to cost more than the car was worth. And you stop and you think, I could get another car that could run, even if another car ran for a year, it's going to be cheaper than getting this one fixed. And in the end you think, right, you know what, it's going to go to the scrappies. Several cars have done that and I've not been bothered in the slightest. I'm just like, okay, fair enough, whatever. And I've digressed again somewhat, but I suppose it's the same with farm machinery, with equipment, with anything like that. Families will have a brand they love, and it's that kind of love-hate thing. Is we've always had them, yeah, they're a pain, yeah, we need to do a lot of maintenance and work on them, but we love having them. Some people have them out of necessity because they've always had them, can't afford to get a new one, a bigger one, or whatever it might be. So, you know, I wasn't trying to come to any main conclusion with that. It was just a general chit chat, you know what I mean. So this will now carry on. Just thinking, I don't think I've got time to go and get the bales. We'll see how we go. This one has got a much smaller tank. That one does say it's almost full. What we'll do is, let's look at that one. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? Don't do that. Thank you. So we're looking. Maybe it's not 10,000. I don't think it was 10,000 litres. I could have sworn it was. That's very odd. Was it 8,000? Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't it? What am I thinking of then? It was 10,000 litres. Anyway, right, let's go and grab. Where did I leave it? I've lost my tractor. Where is it? Am I losing my mind? Where's my case with the pup on it? Is it top of the hill? Anyway. See you in a bit. We'll get a bit more of this done, and I'm really hoping the soybean price comes up a bit because it's really not fantastic at the moment. I was hoping for like 1.5, 1.6, and at the moment it's at 1.3, and that's just, I just don't think that's enough to sell it. Annoying, isn't it? Okie dokie. Let's get cracking. The only reason I've got the smaller one of these as well is because I'm not sure how much we're going to get. I think we're going to get more off this field than this will hold, but I didn't think we'd get enough to fill the 70,000 litre trailer. That said, I would love it if we did. If we got that, that'd be fantastic. Right, when the case gets into this strip, I'll get on to the next bit, and I'll leave the... Oh, okay, great, inside. Right. I'll leave the class to do this little bit and then we'll shift everything over. Then it'll be back on the field, repurposing. Actually, while we're on this, how are we looking for growth, harvested, soil composition? Oh, that's good, doesn't need ploughing, so it'll just be straight on with fertilizer again, and we can direct drill straight over the top, so we haven't got to worry. We can no-till it this time, which will be lovely. Cool. Grass field actually does need lime. I'm thinking what I might do is spread some lime over the top of that and see what happens. I've never done that on a grass field. Generally speaking, I don't bother. I think I might have done on Marwell Manor, I think. God blimey, that was a while ago. Makes me feel old. Of course, as well, once all the contracts, I know I was going to go, all of the contracts at the moment are for fertilising, and there are loads of them because the fields are mostly all planted and are growing. So this is where we roll round all the fertiliser contracts, and we can whiz around doing loads of fertilising, and then we drop back into harvest season again. When we get back into harvest season again, that's when we can really make some big bucks doing harvesting for other farms if we want to. But that's what I'm thinking, if we can do that a little bit more, then we're at a point where we've got enough money built up to buy some more land. Again, yes, I could get a loan, and and I suppose then doing the contracts we could pay off that loan way quicker, I guess. But for some reason in my head I've got this real stigma in my head of getting a loan. I don't, I know it's daft, but it is what it is. Oh, that's why I started saying before I got sidetracked again. Yeah, so on a map like this you can do that. On smaller maps with smaller fields where contracts don't pay out as much because they are smaller and whatever the local area prices have been set at, if you know what I mean, contracting pays out okay, but you can't make big money doing it without putting in tons and tons of hours. So it becomes that situation of you either put tons and tons of hours in doing loads and loads of contracts to make a lot of money without getting a loan, or on a map like this you're doing fewer contracts but you're still putting in tons and tons of hours because the fields are much bigger. So it kind of all balances itself out. It's either multiple contracts on small fields or less contracts on big fields, but you're still putting in a load of hours to make up your money. So I don't know, it's that kind of, is one right or wrong? I don't think so. Just waffle time with MrSealyp. Oh, now I want waffles. I have a very scattergun approach to my brain at the moment anyway. It is now 2:39 in the afternoon. I'm on my way back from the store, having just bought some more fertiliser. I've got another pallet and a little bit left sitting there. We had just tipped back over the 600,000 mark. Why am I... Okay. It's back on pounds again. When did I change that back? That was on dollars. Anyway, regardless. Well, I'll get that spot back again. Anyway, tractor is looking absolutely filthy. This needs a wash. We have just taken on another contract. We are harvesting. We've finished our harvest here on field 17. That's done. We've taken on a harvest contract on field 29 doing sunflowers, which is going to pay out quite nicely, I hope. Why am I driving past? Because I need to start spraying our own field. So we're going to do our own field now. What I need to check is the width, because I'm pretty sure I dropped it down to 32. Yeah, let's put that back up to 45 metres. I'm going to get a worker cracking on that. What do I need to be for this? Get it just right. I always fertilise my field directly after harvest. As soon as I'm harvested, I get fertiliser on it. Whether it be liquid fertiliser, solid fertiliser spread, whether it's manure, whether it's slurry or digestate, I will always do it. Is that going to be alright? How can he have completed his task? Of course he hasn't. Right, we'll hop out, then get on with that. Close that off. Yeah, do it directly afterwards. I will always do that. And then when we then come into plant or seed, or if I cultivate, if I was going to cultivate this, I would cultivate and then I would put another lot of fertiliser down. Then I'm done. Why has it stopped? It's not finished. That's ridiculous. It's so far away from the telegraph pole, it can't possibly be that. That's not going to stop at every telegraph pole, surely. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. Now, like I said before, I could be fertilising when I seed. If I've got a seeder or planter that does seed and fertiliser at the same time, I could do both at the same time. I generally don't, just a false habit. It's just the way I do it, you know, rightly or wrongly, like I said before. So the harvesters I'm going to move out of the way. I need to go back into the yard. We'll do a bit of maintenance on those and give them a bit of a wash, as we did last time. What we can do is shut that down. These I can't help with the harvest we're doing at the moment because I don't have a corn header or a helianthus header for doing sunflowers, so that's not going to help very much at the moment on there. Now what I'm going to do is drop the header down, but try to remember this time that I've dropped the header down, so next time that I get in it, I lift the header back up again. Now this one, the header trailer's around the other side. I forgot all about that, and this is looking filthy. This one needed more repair doing the job than the case did, so I had to repair this more often, and it got far dirtier, far quicker as well compared to the case. Yeah, the header trailer's over there. I'll sort that in a little while. We didn't have far to come. So these will get sorted out. We'll get these fixed up and they'll get jet washed and sorted. Let's drop the header down on that. Stored energy and all that. Don't want the hydraulics up or anything like that. Now, as far as how much we've got, I'm glad I decided to put some in the pup trailer first because we're not far off full on our 70,000 litres, which is amazing. So I got way more off this side than I thought I was going to. We are going to take it, yeah, 60,847. So even if we had put in this one initially, we'd still have overspill into the other one. So it really doesn't matter. We're good to go. Cover on. What I'm going to try and do, it might not be as easy. We are going to take it to sell. We're going to go to the north sell point, which as far as I can tell is still the best price, 1,300 and something for soybean, 1,334 at north sell point. That's the best price at the moment. So that's where we're going to take it. And then what I should be able to do is hook the pup up to the... Whoops, traffic, sorry. I should be able to hook the pup up to the back of this. Farm dog's found his squeaky toy. Good lad. So what we'll do, we'll swing across the road in front of that car, because, you know, that's what you do when you're hauling a massive load. We'll jump out, we'll switch this over, we'll take this to be sold. and then what I'll probably do is hook this up to the header trailer and pull the header trailer around into the yard for the class header. Now, the harvester we've borrowed from a farmer for doing the contract on Field 29 that we're doing at the moment is a 9240, I think it is, that they've given us, a case 9240. I've been looking in the brochure, and they've got a really nice 7240 available up at the store, which I've kind of got my eye on. I do like the look of it, I'll be honest. I'm not going to lie. I was talking about the various different brands and things we could look at. It's a very nice one. Right, let's jump out of that. I wasn't specifically going to go as a kind of case farm, you know, but it is a nice harvester. I think it's a 14,000 litre as well. Please hook up. Have I missed completely? Oh no, I'm just not there yet. There we go. So we can hook the two of these together and I can take the full load of 85,000 litres up to the sell point. What I will need to do is either get Carl or Sean, I'm not sure which one of them is running the harvester on Field 29, we need to unload it. They've also given us, as part of the contract, the farmer's given us a semi and a pace setter trailer, so we're good. But we're going to go and sell this first. This should take our money right up. Obviously we're going to go and get the wheel loader that we've got our eye on, which is going to bring the money back down again. The plot of land I want to buy next is 680 grand. So again, it's why we actually, I can turn in here, can't I? I'm pretty sure I can run around the back. Pretty sure I can. I was going from the other way, but I'm pretty sure we can get around this way. Yep. Oh, happy days. Alright. What we'll do is unload from the I think what we'll do, otherwise we're going to tip onto the pup, aren't we? Which is not something I want to do. Let's disconnect that first, cover off, and let's sell. All our hard work paying off. That's what I like to see. Now I think we're going to be putting corn into the field next. We're going to do a corn harvest. Now corn doesn't pay out as much. If I want to go for maximum profit, I'd probably go soybeans again, or sunflower. Some seems to be paying out quite well at the moment. But in all honesty, wow, that is nuts money. We'll take that. 81 grand. Lovely. So yeah, I'm going to put corn in. We're doing corn for a specific reason, and I'll talk about that when we get around to doing it. But just to let you know, that's what we are going to be putting in. Do that, cover off. This is a belly dump, so we'll go to there. Well, that wasn't quite what I was expecting. And let's unload. Not first, a bit more money in the old bank. We're going to go over 700. Cha-ching. Nice. We did alright out of that, didn't we? Boys and girls, ladies and gents, we did alright. So, this will go back. Fertilizer spreading should be continuing. We then need to look at replanting. And like I say, we'll get corn in the ground. So it's now rolling over into the next one. What I am going to do, like I say, for the next episode, or the start of the next episode, we're going to head off. We're going to get the wheel loader, because I need to get all those silage bales off of Field 8 and get them brought back. We are going to then need to do hay as well, so we're going to redo Field 8 again, but we're going to cut it, ted it, and then we'll collect. Whether we'll, I think we are going to bale it as well, because what I did say I was going to have enough bales of each to be able to do what we want to do. Let me think about where I want to put this. The pup I'll take around the back, then we'll back the trailer back onto. I did a little bit of, as you can see, where the vehicles have been going on and off the grass area, off the road. We've got a little bit of wear and tear on the ground. That was all a little bit of landscaping I did, because that wasn't there originally. I just put those where the bale trailer is now. And I did a little bit around here as well. We did a little bit of work where I normally park the semi. I've done the same thing there. So what we'll do, we'll swing this round, drop the pup off, and then we'll go and park up the trailer. Then I'll check out and see how much they've missed on the fertiliser spreading. So we'll drop the pup off. Oh, that's right in the way, isn't it? Oh, we can sort that out later. I'm going to put the cover back on that actually. Disconnect that. Put the cover back on this, just in case it rains, you know. Don't want it filling up with water and getting all horrible and sludgy and rusting. And I think we'll do the same thing. We'll pop across into the neighbour's field. And then park up. Right. Disconnect that. Into that. Fantastic. Right, header trailer back into the yard. It's weird because that soybean harvest seemed to be a long time coming, but all done and dusted. Both harvesters, cracking job. But like I say, I think, you know, I have discussed about getting another harvester and moving forward for my own farm, but also if we are going to be taking on more contracting jobs for doing stuff for local farmers. A bigger harvester, one unit, one big header. It's got to be easier for use, for unloading, and, you know, rather than backwards and forwards between two. If we get to a point where the farm grows and we have two big harvesters, then we're back to where we are now, just with larger machines. Which again this is the plan moving forward. You know, I'm only on, what are we on, episode 7? We're just starting out. We're just scratching the surface. This is all the starting out bits. When the ball gets rolling and we've got more land, more property, and we're going to build up to, I want to at some point, I want to own it. I want to get a quad track. I want to get something big, maybe not a quad track, something big like that. I want to run a 2-3 harvester setup if I can. Couple of semis with big old trailers, or, you know, whatever it might be. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, I was talking to the guys from NMC, and the Griffin. Is it that one or that one? I think it might be the module truck. If we go down here, oh, that does me head in. Where are we? Engine setup: 580, 650, 730, 1,200 horsepower. I wasn't wrong when I said that's what it said in the update. 1,200 horsepower. That's nuts. But that's been done because they've got a new mod coming out. This massive excavator, and the only thing that could pull it was something with more horsepower. So they've done this now, so you can get a larger engine upgrade onto the Griffin. And yeah, so it'll pull this massive excavator, which looks like one of the ones you use for doing drainage tile, for doing pipe laying. It's got a big old dig on the back, and it looks like that kind of thing. Obviously you can have a big old bucket on the front too, but right, so next job, check on the fertilizing, check on the contract on field 29. Then we need to make sure we run through the seeder, planter, sower, make sure everything's okay on that. It's all fixed, maintained, repaired, nothing is broken. Where do I put this? So yeah, we'll do that, run through that just to make sure everything's okay, and then we'll get back out into the field and we'll start replanting on our field. Put it there. Cool. See you in a minute. Now, as I mentioned before, beauty with this spreader is the adjustability of the width. Now obviously the little strip I've got left here is still wider than what I can go down to, but if I go down to a 24 metre now, I can do this strip, which 24 metres is still too wide, but I can do that strip without wasting excess, hopefully. There is a big section over the other side as well I need to jump on. So what I'll do is when I go over there, I'll probably still be able to leave it on 24 metres, because the strip over to the right hand side of the farm, as we're looking at the farm now, just the right hand side, there's a strip that it missed. This will probably be the right width for doing that as well. And that'll be our first fertilising stake done on field 17, so I'll get the seeder out, we'll get seeding. Well actually it's planting, isn't it, because we're doing corn, so it'll be planting technically. Oh, there's a strip over there as well, we'll get that too. and then we'll whiz over and we'll have a look on the on field 29 and what's going on there, because I want to have a look at the 9240 in a little bit more kind of detail with a prospect to you know, our options for purchasing our own. Like I say, I'm not going to go with the 9240, I don't think. Just for the options packages available from the dealership, you know what I mean. It's horrible, you can see that stark reminder of the mistake I made. That yeah, we'll leave these two tram lines and the ones at the other end of the field just to remind you that's where you goofed up. Well done, genius. So we should be alright, 24 metres here as well. We are. Fantastic. I'll turn it off then, because I'm not going to need to change it, I don't think. When we get around the other side, we'll be good there as well. Oh, that's not too great, is it? Okay, let's turn it off. Swing up, put it back on. Looks about the same width, doesn't it? Swing around there. And we are job done. And I think back to the yard, give that a wash, barely see out the windows. I just missed that bit there as well. Cool. Yeah, I've got stuff dumped all over the place. I need to have a bit of a tidy up, don't I? Doesn't hurt to give everything a clean off every now and again, especially when you're using fertiliser. It's very corrosive in places and it's not always great if you've got bits and bobs laying around. Probably worse with liquid fertiliser than solid, I would think, because the liquid stuff can get everywhere. I mean, not saying that's just from what I've seen on TV and research and bits and bobs. I know they all can be. Depends what you're applying, of course. Right, is that done? Move that out of the way. Let's go and check on field 29. I think it just goes under here, even with the little sunroof open. Literally, I mean, maybe not. Maybe I should put that down a bit. Put that there. Cool. Right. So as you can see, a rather nice looking 9240, tracked HS12 header, I think. It's not 16, is it? It's not a really big one. This is going to take a little while, as they always do. And like I say, once we've got our own one, if we can get our own large harvester, and I want to be at a point where we've got a corn header and a regular header, again doing a job like this, I can bring my own harvester over and we can have one running from the farmer, one of my own. We'll recover the money back that we lose for borrowing equipment from the farmer, but it just kind of, you know, like I say, love it or hate it, it's part of what's available. You know, you can do it, and if you can make money doing it, do it. You know, I'm going to say this again. I am not a farmer. I have never ever claimed to play realistically. Semi-realistically, at best. I mean, there'll be some things I do that aren't realistic at all. But I have never ever claimed to be a realistic farmer. I've never claimed to be doing a realistic gameplay. I just kind of play, and you know, that's just the way I do it. So yeah, you know, just to reiterate that, you know, you might be new to the channel, you might not know who I am, what I do. You know, if you come on and you're expecting a particular thing, this is who I am and what I do. I chat a lot. I enjoy farming. I enjoy doing all of this. I enjoy, you know, I enjoy the storylines and narratives and the characters that I create, and you know, that immersive thing. And I think there's a big difference between realism and immersion. You can immerse yourself into something; it doesn't have to be realistic. There is a difference between the two. What I am going to do though on here, I'm going to get our lorry over here as well, our semi and trailer. I'm going to fill that up first, and then we'll fill up the one we've got from the farmer. So we're going to get as much crop off the field as we can before taking it to sell at the sell point, and then we'll deal with what we need to at the end of this. But that I probably will do that off screen, I think. But yeah, this is nice. But like I say, there are alternatives, and you know, I'm at the moment, all options are on the table. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I know I've said that a few times already, and I do apologise for repeating myself. I think what I'm going to do at this point is take over from the worker, and I'm going to just unload, because we're not far off being full. I mean, it's not completely full, but while we're here and we're right next to it, we might as well. Nice long pipe on these as well, like that. I'm pretty sure the one I was looking at in the brochure, you've got an option of 2 different pipe lengths as well, which is brilliant. And that's really high as well, so even high-sided trailers, you're not having a problem. I'm looking forward to upgrading, and again, that's one of those things I enjoy about doing something like this, that challenge of building up. I do kind of, it's exciting to work your way up, and the thing about it is to try and make as much money as you can. You know, that whole thing of, right, I've just gone over 700,000. 700,000 will go nowhere. You buy yourself a $400,000 harvester, and then a header for 80 or whatever it's going to work out at, and all of a sudden you're 700,000. You're down to, you know, not next to nothing, but that money's gone. And then you're starting again. You know, you go through that cycle again of building up your money for the next big purchase, and you know, it doesn't go as far as you think it will. Right. This is going to take some time. I am going to put in a couple of headlands this end though, because it's turning around early. Right, attention back to my own field. Let's grab the front tank. We'll grab the planter, switch that over to corn, and we'll get rolling. What we'll do is raise that hitch up a bit. There we go. Switch over to that. We want to go from barley to corn. Where am I going? Go this way. So we're going out to the main road and get to my field here. Now this hitch does have a little bit of a wobble to it. It's what we like to refer to in the trade as an elasticated hitch. Sometimes you get a bit of the 3-point hitch moves, but sometimes if you try and turn too fast, the planter separates from the ball attachment on the hitch, which can be amusing at times and frustrating at other times, but it's all good. Again, with this, I'm looking forward to a point we can get to where we can upgrade our seeder planter, but the problem is there aren't any larger ones that do everything. There is the larger one of these which does everything, but it's not a direct drill, which means we'd then have to cultivate everything first, but that's then the trade-off if we get a bigger cultivator too with a bigger tractor. So, you know, it's all good. Let's turn that on, drop it down, and we are now repurposing the field again. So we've got corn going in, once I've been over this, we'll go over the fertiliser again, and we're good, fully fertilised, all done. It didn't need any lime, didn't need anything else. All is as it should be. I'm going to do a couple of rows just to give myself a bit of room. I didn't really want to go over that, but that's okay. I didn't quite finish it off. And yeah, I'll get all this done as well. So next time I see you, we will probably have this field will be done. We'll be looking to head off and go and pick up the new wheel loader. We need to get those silage bales off of field 8. What else are we going to need to do? We're going to look at finances to see where we stand with regard to purchasing this new bit of land. I know we can make money back. I know, as we've already seen, earning money and doing jobs and contracts isn't going to be an issue. And I know that our fields, I mean, if I do soybean again, that was over 100,000 we made, and that was 110 grand. Which is an interesting point, isn't it? The whole thing about doing contracts for other people, sometimes the prices that you're being paid seem too much. So if I do a contract like I'm doing on field 29 at the moment, pays 47 grand or something, which seems like a lot of money. Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing it for somebody else, that's a lot of money to be paid. The extra crop I get is mine to do what I want with, which again is fine. Now if I owned that field, I would make more money if I owned that field doing a harvest on it than I'm getting for doing a contract for someone else. So it's not like I'm being paid. Like if I was contracted on this field I'm doing now, I wouldn't have earned 110 grand if I'd have done it myself. Yeah, so we're back up to, because we're harvesting. Why was that not? We're not quite over the edge properly. No, I need to move over a bit. I've missed a little bit on the edge. I don't know. Regardless of that, we have come to the end of this episode. We are speed planting again. This is absolutely bonkers with that attachment. But anyway, I need to slow down a little bit. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you are enjoying it. If you are, if you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, as always. Thanks for watching.